I knew she was pushing herself to be bright and full of energy. But even so, this wasn't something I was going to easily change my mind about. You're goddamn right you're not! It was all the more with how much she cared for me.
ご主人、私たちがいたらそんなに迷惑？悪い子？
Is it that much of a bother for us to be here, Master? Are we bad cat girls? Those are two different sentences. Can't mix them together. She spoke quietly in her usual way. Vanilla tilted her head as she asked that question. You two aren't bad cat girls, and that's why I can't have you stay here.
悪い子じゃないのにダメなの？
Can't stay here even though we aren't bad cat girls? It's because you two are good cat girls that I nay, I can't allow it. She blinked as she took in my words. It was almost as if she was trying to peer inside my heart. She stared directly at me, long and hard.
人って難しい。猫にはそういうのはわからない。
Humans are hard to understand. Cat girls do not understand such
好
things.
きならそばにいたい。
Ow.
少なくとも私はそう思うけど。
At the very least. Oh, I should probably read the first part of the sentence. If we like a human, we want to be near them. At the very least, that's how I feel. Vanilla.
チョコラのところ行ってくる。
I will go check on Chocola. With those words, she went upstairs. The sound of her small footsteps slowly disappeared, and before long, I couldn't hear them anymore. Humans are hard to understand, huh? I would have to agree. People are complicated as fuck. And they're also stupid. And that's why you shouldn't get in a relationship with anyone, because everyone's dumb, and they're not worth your time. Inside the bakery now, devoid of anyone but myself. I repeated those words just as she had said to me. Now that I think about it, that's a pretty inconsistent way of thinking, isn't it? Cats do not understand that. Having heard that said aloud, I began to understand what I really meant. It must be pretty nice to live the simple life of a cat girl, huh? Pondered as I looked at the name of the bakery affixed to the window. With a bitter smile, I began to clean up the tea sets that had arrived earlier. I broke my cup. Let's just say the crow broke by itself. Stop breaking my shit!
あれ？今日はあのたこ焼き屋がいない。
Huh? That takoyaki seller isn't here today. Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park in the evening. However, that food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day I decided to take the two cat girls home. It just so happened. It was a coincidence. Was it now? Goddamn plot convenience. It had also happened to leave the house key behind. So to make good use of time, I went to do some shopping before Shigure got home.
ごめんバニラ。
Sorry, Vanilla.
なんだっけ？また旅だっけ？
What? No one said anything about catnip. What are you? Bunch of drug addicts. Apparently. What was it called?
だい
Catnip?
たいそんな感じ。
That sounds about right. That isn't the right word at all. Chocola, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit?
はい、少しだけ。
Okay, maybe a little
で
bit.
も大丈夫ですから。心配かけてごめんなさい、ご主人様。
Oh no, Chocola's fine. Sorry to worry you, Master. What was she trying to say? If catnip wasn't the right word, and it totally was not, there's no need for you to apologize. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Or there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest
じ
a
ゃ
bit?
あ私、何か飲み物買ってくる。
In that case, I will go buy something to drink. Ah, thanks. Something for everyone, okay?
了解。任された。
Understood. Leave it to me. I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocola. Sad face. The constant sea breeze rustled the trees in the park. Panning background. All that could be heard through the empty park were the quiet sounds of nature. Silently, he sat down next to the disheartened Chocola. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly.
ショコラ、帰ります。
Chocola will go home. Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't sure if I had heard her or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocola's head.
たまにはご主人様に電話してもいいですか？
Is it alright if Chocola calls you sometimes, Master? Yeah.
またご主人様のところに遊びに来てもいいですか？
Would it be alright to go visit you as well, Master? Yeah.
ご主人様はショコラたちのことちゃんと毎日思い出してくれますか？
Why are you crying? Everybody just take a step back. What? Something in my computer case just popped. My computer didn't crash, so I assume that's nothing. So with my failing power supply, that could be the power supply popping. Entirely likely. Master, will you be sure to think about us every day?
ショコラは離れててもご主人様って呼んでてもいいですか？
What? I'm so confused why she's crying, but alright. Is it alright for Chocola to yawn like an idiot? Is it alright for Chocola to still call you Master, even if Chocola is far away from you? Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away her tears. She stifled her sobbing, and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. I held back my irresistible words that were on the brink of coming out with all my strength. Yeah, of course, I will. You get the point. Chocola is sorry, Master. I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. Hey, that's me! Could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. Hey, at least you didn't laugh at the crying person, which is something I would totally do. I rubbed Chocola's head as gently as I could.
やっぱりご主人様は優しいですね。
You really are kind, aren't you, Master? I don't really think I'm kind at all.
ご主人様、前も同じこと言ってましたから。
You said the same thing before, didn't you, Master? Before? Chocola closed her eyes and smiled.
覚えてますか？ショコラとバニラを。
Do you remember when Chocola and
ご
Vanilla
主人様としぐれちゃんが連れて帰ってくれた時のこと。
were taken home by Master and Shigure-chan? Ah, of course I remember that. How could I forget? Flashback. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocola and Vanilla were huddled together, crying by the side of the road. They were still so young, they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day that I embraced their small, cold bodies and took them home with me. There was no way I can simply forget that important day when our family grew. That's what I said! Finger waggle. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at
あ
home.
の時は知らないお家で知らない人と猫ばっかりで怖くて。
We were scared back then because we were in an unfamiliar house with people and catgirls we didn't know. You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shigure.
はい。とっても心配かけちゃいました。
Yes, we really did make her worry. Started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the
シ
past.
ョコラとバニラが熱を出した時のことも覚えてますか？
Do you remember when Chocola and Vanilla had a fever too? I definitely do remember that. Cone wipe. It was a few days after we brought Chocola and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water. And as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain.
あの時は夜中で誰にも気づいてもらえなくて。
What's the deal with those funky eyebrows there? No one had realized it that night. I'm sorry for ruining the atmosphere, alright? It's just kind of what I do. Ask anyone.
とにかく苦しくて、辛くて、寂しくて。
But we felt so much pain, anguish, and
声も出
loneliness.
せなくて。手も足も全然動かなくて。
We couldn't speak or move our arms or legs at all. That's called sleep paralysis.
助けて。誰か助けてって思いながら、ただただ泣いてたんです。
All we could do was cry and cry as we kept hoping for anyone to come and save
そ
us.
したら、
And then, it's alright, I'm with you too, so don't
主
worry.
人様が大きくてあったかい手で撫でてくれたんですよね。
With your big warm hands, you gently rubbed our heads,
ず
Master.
っとそばで大丈夫、大丈夫って言い続けてくれて。
You kept saying, don't worry, as you stayed by our
シ
side.
ョコラとバニラのこと撫で続けてくれてました。
And continued to stroke and comfort both chocolate and vanilla.
朝になって病院に行くまでずっとそばにいてくれて。
When morning came, you took us to the hospital. You were always by our
不安
side.
で心細かったのが全部嘘だったみたいに。
We felt so anxious and helpless. It felt like it was all just lies to us.
あの時も同じこと言ってました。
Back then, you said the same thing. Backstory!
俺は別に優しくなんかないって。
That you didn't think you were being kind.
でもショコラたちはご主人様が助けてくれなかったらここにいなかったです。
I almost cut her off. But if Master hadn't saved us, chocolate and vanilla wouldn't be here right
あの
now.
時ご主人様がそばにいてくれなかったら誰も信じられないままでした。
Back then, if Master wasn't by our side, we still wouldn't be able to trust
ご主
anyone.
人様のおかげでご飯も食べれるようになりました。
Thanks to Master, we were able to eat again. I don't know if that was the reason, but you know, it's a nice sentiment, at least.
しぐれちゃんともみんなとも仲良くなりました。
We were able to become friends with Shirogiri-chan and everyone else. Name
だからあの
butcherers.
時からショコラのご主人様はご主人様になったんです。
That's why, from that day forward, Master became Chocola's master.
ショコラはそれからずっと優しいご主人様のことが大好きなんですよ。
It was from that day forward that Chocola began loving her kind master, you know? I wish that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. She smiled all she could before me.
だからショコラはご主人様がいなくなっちゃうって聞いて。
That's why when Chocola hears that Master won't be around anymore, well, I'm not moving to a new city or a country or dying. Like I'm literally just I'm moving. It sounds like they're fairly close because he was able to go there in one day. I don't know if he has a car or not. So it pretty much just sounds like he moved to the other side of like the city. Depending on what city that could be at a large distance. I don't know. But it seems like he moved fairly close by if he can walk to his house he grew up in. I'm not crazy, right? No sane person would walk 5 hours just to bring 2 catgirls home. It wouldn't happen. They're not me. I wouldn't even bring them home. I would probably just walk 5 hours.
いても立ってもいられなくてどうしても一緒に行きたくて。
Chocola couldn't do anything else but want to go with Master.
グレちゃんにお願いをしたんです。
So Chocola begged Shigiri-chan. She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if it would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm, but there was almost an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed with them. Chocola. I was the one she was saying all of this to. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name.
お金のこととか難しいことはやっぱり猫にはわからないです。
Sorry,